Power Rangers, Defenders of Gaia, Episode 20, Fireworks versus Waterworks. Ordinarily, the dwarven city of Northernstone, just outside one of the most untapped mines, was a rather peaceful place, one of delight and cheer as the miners and their families employed the calmer days of their lives. One where, when they weren't working, they hardly had a care in the world. Unfortunately, today was not one of those days, as the adults of said city found themselves grabbing their children and running for their houses, as outside the city limits, several enlarged blots and a blood blot were converging on the metropolis, looking to stomp it flat. Immediately, defenses on the city walls were set up, as catapults with flaming rocks and wreckers were armed. The first volley was launched, and while one or two enlarged blots were knocked back for a moment, the dozen or so behind them were marching towards them. As things looked hopeless, though, a single-eyed call rang throughout the skies. The child being led back home was the first to spot the source, as suddenly the Gaia Zords came swooping overhead, much to the cheers of the city's populace. "Let's send these blots packing!" Nicky yelled from the Phoenix Sword, as it breathed flames onto the closest blots. "Your Gottes boss!" Patrick responded from the Hippogriff Sword, knocking its hose across the heads of the blots. "Don't let any of them get close to the city!" Layla cried, launching ice breath out from the Leviathan Sword's mouth to freeze the feet of the marching blots to the ground. "No one's getting through on my watch," Dirk declared as he rammed the Behemoth Sword through the immobile blots. "Fucker's gonna be sorry he attacked the city!" Madeline exclaimed, the Thunderbird Sword firing lightning bolts from its eyes at the enemies below. "Small fries first, then we go after Walker," Drain corrected from the Dragon Sword, as it launched dark fireballs from its mouth, finishing out the team's first volley. With this done, only 4 blots and a blood blot remained. The latter monster spewed out acid spray at the Zords, who had to evade wildly as they passed by. "We can't get too close to the blood blot," Nicky reminded the team as he circled around. "It'll sap our energy." "Nicky, if I could suggest something," Drain suggested. "It looks like the Dragon Sword is pretty big and strong enough that it could carry—" Leo's eyes perked up and smiled wildly. "Drain, that's brilliant! Let's do it!" "Right!" Nicky sighed as she, Patrick, Layla, Dirk, and Madeline pulled out their Unity crystals. "Gaia Swords combine!" The 5 Rangers switched out their crystals for the Unity crystals, causing their Zords to spring up and shift their bodies around, combining into their own Megazord as their cockpits came together at the head. However, the Megazord's wings spread out, keeping it airborne as the Dragon Sword flew in underneath. The giant robot then landed on the Indigo Dragon, riding it like a mount, which, in my head, looks incredibly awesome. "Gaia Megazord, Dragon Rider!" all 6 Rangers called. Excuse me. What? I represent the lawyers of Anne McCaffrey. You can't use the Dragon Rider for this statement. After all, we all know Anne McCaffrey doesn't allow anybody to use anything from her Dragon Riders or Purge series. Isn't that kind of annoying? Yes, I'm a gigantic fan. So, want to quit and be part of my lawyer's team? We always got positions open. Why not? Using the combined might of both the Dragon Sword and Megazord's wings, they flew hard and fast over the blots, blasting them with the Dark Dragon's breath. Drayden quickly turned the Megazord around, rolling in the air to avoid getting hit as the blood blot shot acid at them. "Let's finish this up!" Nicky ordered, the team nodding as they channeled the energy for all 6 swords into the Dragon Sword, and opened its mouth wide, a rainbow-colored fireball gathering in its jaws. "Multi-mental meteor!" the 6 Rangers shouted, launching the concentrated blast from the Dragon Sword's mouth, and it patted the blood blot hard, blowing it apart in an explosion that took out the remaining blots as well, leaving only the dark mist in the wake. "Phew, that's over with," Dirk sighed as the Dragon Sword landed, removing his helmet. "Huh, quicker than usual." "Don't relax just yet, Dirk," Nicky insisted. "After all, you're on envoy to the dwarves." "You sure this is a good idea?" Drain asked over the comm, listening to people of this world to invade the Dark Zone. "We're never going to win this war if we stay on the defensive," Nicky replied. "These people have been terrorized enough. It's time we help them get some payback." Walker growled absently, watching the rangers through the flames in the dark chamber's fireplace. He just sat there, stewing in rage as he watched them. Not even noticed as Darky had entered the chamber, fresh off of upgrading a new batch of blocks into mecha blocks. Darky sighed, seeing her brother watch the flames unwaveringly for what had to be the third straight day in a row. He had been eating or sleeping, just sending blocks out and watching the flames. Walker, I got another dozen blocks converted for you, Darky said, breaking the silence and getting little no reaction from her brother. Some of our forces are getting a little antsy to attack the Undersea Kingdom. Might be a good way to test the water, so to speak. Get a good idea of defenses. Again, no response. It was Darky who replied, Oh, and we got some mail the other day. Apparently the Blots want to paint themselves in pink war paint. Absolutely not! Walker roared, spinning around to see Darky had clearly made it up. That wasn't funny. Darky rolled her eyes. Look, Walker, I know you're still stewing over Spantis, but it's not just Spantis, Walker muttered. The Guardians of Gaia are now assembled. 6 of them. 7 if you count Jarwar. Do you think news like that doesn't get around? All right. I know my father can react mentally to failure sometimes, but I doubt he really ghosted us for this, Darky argued. Besides, I'm his daughter, and you're his adopted son. If you honestly believe that matters to him, Walker started to say as he turned back to the flames, stopping as he spotted something. What is he doing? Darky had tilted her head up. Who? The Orange Ranger, Walker replied, pointing at the image in the flames of the Orange Ranger, speaking at a table of dwarves. What is he doing? Darky struck, confused. He's talking with a bunch of dwarves? Walker growled, pinching the bridge of his nose. Take a closer look, sister. Some of those dwarves are leaders of the communities from across Gaia. Why is the Orange Ranger speaking with a council of dwarves? Maybe he's trying to get them to build a new tech for him? The Guardians of Gaia have plenty in their arsenal to be a threat to us. Walker pointed out. No, there's something more going on here. Not just something. I want to know what. Tara smiled as the Rangers, Stan Stark, returned to the ancient library. Professor Snyder walking out to give his son a pat on the shoulder. Welcome back, Rangers. How did you fare? Pretty well, actually, Layla replied. The primary 6 Gaia swords seem to pull energy a lot more efficiently than I thought they would. That's good, Jawar nodded. As I said before, the dark zone you're planning to invade is so thick in darkness that the auxiliary zones won't be able to hear your call from there. You'll only have the main 6 to call upon. Well, that sucks so good, Dragon groaned. It means I won't be able to form the Dragoon Megazord. Don't do that, son, Charles responded. I'm helping Zorwong look into alternative means that the Dragonzord can support the Gaia Megazord. In the meantime, I guess we'll have to see how Dirk's mission with the enlisted dwarves goes, Nicky said, having a seat. Zara sighed, stroking his beard. Actually, there's another matter I discuss. I've gone over our current numbers, having enlisted the aid of the Centaurs, Night Elves, and even a few Dryads. Layla groaned. I thought I told her no. No, it's for Jalil. Speaking from experience, sis, the more you overprotect people, the less likely they'll agree with you to stay when it's safe. Besides, all of us going in, the safest place for Faye is probably where you can at least keep an eye on her. I guess you're right, Layla nods. Well, she had to be sooner or later. Patrick snarked, getting a third look from the Violet Ranger. Nikki rolled her eyes. What's the problem, Jarwar? Even if Doc were to get twice the numbers we're looking for, I still don't think it's enough, Jarwar replied. Well, what do you suggest? Dragon asked. Jarwar stayed silent for a moment before walking over to the field globe, pulling out the location of an ion, small, dormant volcano. The Magma Nagas. Patrick cracked an eyebrow. Magma Nagas? Never heard of them. Sounds almost like a hot sauce or something, Mala joked. Because they're rather isolated, Zara explained. They mostly live in tropical, sometimes even volcanic locations. They are generally much too warm for the rest of the inhabitants of Gaia to live in regularly. As such, they're often referred to as fire zones. Clever, Nikki said. What's it like? I've done some reading on them myself, and they seem to be a royal race. Professor Steiner chimed in, holding out a book with a picture of a red-scaled creature with a humanoid torso ending in a long serpentine trail. Like they don't attempt to lure the strength of others. They likewise are more than strong enough to defend their territories. In fact, they're so strong and savage about, they never once needed to call for aid in dealing with block parties. Fascinating, Patrick exclaimed. So if they're going to something coming along, the attack's a piece of cake, right? That's the problem, Sarah remarked. The magma knockers can be a bit stubborn. They've only ever acknowledged one person to give them the order to attack. Uron, your original guardian of fire. Nikki's eyes widened, thinking back to the red-haired elven warriors he met in the Well of Gret. My ancestor? Yes, Tara replied, and I'm afraid that, without him, there's only one who can convince them now. Nikki sighed, feeling all eyes turn to her. Well then, I guess I better need to see about getting your help. We could come with, Drayton offered. I mean, these magma nagas might be more convinced if we all went. Thanks, but this is really something I gotta do to myself, Nikki replied. Besides, you guys need to be ready in case there's another attack while I'm out. Well, we're keeping one eye on you, just in case, Malin made clear, smirking. Nikki grinned back. Please, I'm more worried about you guys. Now, giggling, raising her fist out. The two put their fists together, just before Nikki transported out of the library with her new destination. However, despite the words of confidence, the team couldn't help but glance back at the viewing globe, watching it as a red streak of light shot out from the library to the island fire zone. So, is this going to be one of those Ranger series that does have a battleizer? Walker's eyes widened to the size of basketballs as he watched the Red Ranger teleport through the skies, heading out towards an island. No, I knew it! What's going on? Darkia asked, looking up from her job of cooling some ebony venom. Nikki's headed for the island of Magma Nagas, Walker explained. Now I understand their plot. Drayden must have retained knowledge of the Dark Chamber's location. Now they're gathering an army to attack us! What? Darkia demanded. We're the ones who do the attacking around here! Walker growled, spinning to face his sister. Take a lightless and a squad of blots. Wipe that island off the face of Gaia and the Red Ranger with it! Darkia blinked, staring at Walker like he had grown another head. Walker, brother, I love you and all, but if you think I'm going to attack a fire zone, you're out of your mind. That island is crawling with Magma Nagas. No one in the history of my father's followers has ever been able to take them down a fire zone. True, Walker muttered, going to the cabinet and pulling out a rather large-looking figure. But we have an advantage over them. Oh no, Darkia yelled, throwing her arms in a long X. No, that lightless is completely untamable. Not to mention, it requires far too many blots to be formed. With the venom blots becoming larger in number, so prove easier to summon, Walker argued. At this point, with the Rangers headed our way, and a visit from your father inevitable, do we really have that much in the way of options right now? Darkia looked from the figure to Walker and back again for a bit, before finally grabbing it from her brother's hands. Fine! But you better have a plan B in case this doesn't work out so well. Walker watched his sister leave the dark chamber in a huff, turning back to the fireplace. Oh, I have a plan B, Darkia. It's simply that it may turn out to be my riskiest plan of all. Nikki wiped her forehead, immediately feeling the far greater heat on the island than anywhere else in Gaia she had been to thus far. Even her own flames couldn't match the insane humidity of this place. It was really no wonder the island fell under what was called a fire zone. Seeking out the effects of the heat on her mind, Nikki made her way up to the beach and following along the trail ahead, leading straight towards a small town of the wooden and straw huts. However, as soon as she came to the city limits, a stream of fire jetted out in front of her, cutting off all before forming a circle around her. Looking around, she couldn't spot the source, but she was able to notice a rather large fireball gathering in the sky before it fell toward her. It's morphin' time! Nikki shouted, grabbing her crystal and jamming it into her blaster. Just before the fireball hit, Nikki managed to morph into her suit, drawing her heat sabers and slashing straight through the fiery blast. She then proceeded to drive through the flames, completely unharmed. Heck of a welcoming, Nikki growled, ready for another battle at any moment. Think of it as more of a test. Nikki blinked, just as she began to experience the looming feeling that someone was behind her. Spinning around with her swords, she quickly found herself face to face with a magma naga. His scales were a fiery red orange, his eyes were a shining gold. His stare pierced straight through the visor of her helmet, causing her to back up, swords up in defense. If I had meant to destroy you, you would be destroyed long before you had a chance to turn around, the magma naga hissed. Still, you nonetheless show enough affinity with flame to earn the right to enter our village. Nikki frowned, putting her blades away as she kept a small distance between herself and the magma naga. Whatever you say. I'm Nikki, the Red. We know who you are, a voice called, turning to face a female naga with crimson scales and amber eyes. You're the young woman who has taken up Uran's mantle. Nikki nodded, to which the female naga continued as more of her kind slithered out. I am Blazara, chief of the Island Fire Zone. The brute behind you is named Infernos. Nikki narrowed her eyes. Charmed. Listen, I need to speak with you. It's urgent. Well, of course it is. Why else would you come? Blazara asked, turning away. Follow me. We shall speak in private. Nikki nodded, following after the Naga woman slowly. All the while, eyes of every single magma naga in the village followed her. It was certainly the most interesting race she had seen coming to Gaia, as every single one of them, men, women, and children alike, had strong twinkling torsos. Lights when she suggested could pick up a car. However, there was something about that seemed a bit off about this place, and didn't take long to realize it. This village, it's made out of straw huts, Nikki pointed out. How come they don't burst into flames when you shoot fireballs? The plant life born in fire zones are specially honed, Blazar explained. Unless you hit them directly, they won't be set to blaze, although this does require us to maintain good aim. Finally, after a few minutes, Blazar led Nikki into a small hut with a large circular table in the center, the chief standing at the far end of the table. So, you wish to speak? Nikki nodded, removing her helmet. Chief Blazara, I've come to this island to ask for your help. My friends and I have located the dark chamber belonging to Shadowmancer, Walker. We believe that if we defeated Walker and Darkia, destroy this chamber, supply of enemy venom, and the remaining lightness figurines, it'll bleed his blood with Raidarius' forces. Blazara eyed Nikki suspiciously. And you require us because... Well, the chamber unfortunately is behind enemy lines, in one of the dark zones, Nikki replied. It's one of the smaller ones, probably to avoid being found. But the area is crawling with hundreds, maybe hundreds of blots in all shapes and sizes and variants. Lazar gazed directly into Nikki's eyes, almost as if she was looking at her soul. So, you've come to ask us to go to war? Nikki nodded. I understand that the plane involves you to risk your kind. Believe me, if I knew of another way to score a major victory against the enemy without putting people in harm's way, I would do so. But right now, you and your people, you're our best shot getting this done. So yes, I'm asking you, will you help us? Draven tapped his fingers on the table, watching the viewing globe. There was no work for Nikki yet. The Darkhand returned from his mission. On top of that, things seemed too far quiet at this moment for his liking. He didn't know why, but someone was making him nervous and impatient. Something that didn't go unnoticed. You know, Draven, if you keep tapping the table like that, you're going to put holes in it. Malin joked, taking a seat across from him. Draven sighed. Sorry, it's just, was the right thing to do. Let her go off her own. She's the leader. It was her call, Malin answered. Besides, she can take care of herself just fine. I knew. I can't just stop thinking that I should have gone with her, so she can at least have backup in case things got hairy. Draven groaned, getting confused as Malin stared to smirk at him. What? Nothing, Malin replied. I'm just wondering if you feel that hard compacting feeling, 'cause you, my friend, have a cross. Draven's eye twitched badly. I do. I don't! Okay, maybe a little one, but it's not a big deal, you know. Malice said, giggling. So you have a crush on Nikki. It's completely understandable and harmless. As long as you remember to keep a lid on it when you need to be rational. Fairy blinked, stunned. Sorry, you're educating me on how to be rational. Malin visited a little, embarrassed. Yeah, guess so. When did that start happening? I'm sorry. But as chief of Magma Naga, I cannot reprove your requests to march into the Dark Zone, Bazara said, stunning Nikki. Why not? Nikki demanded. You must understand. As the leader of the current guidance of Gaia, our fates would be in your hands, Bazara explained. While I believe you are kind and heroic, there is something missing from you that your ancestor had made it all the easier to follow him. Nikki's jaw dropped in surprise, causing Bazara to chuckle. Yeah, I knew him. 1,000 years ago. Let's just say I look rather good for my age. And to answer your next question, Oron had a burning flame of determination inside of him that no other individual I have met since possessed. It was infinite. As such, I always felt confident placing my trust in him. Nikki's fist clenched hard, hearing the old Magwanaga's words. It almost felt like she was back in the well of regret again, listening to the words of her ancestor, telling her she wasn't able to carry the slack he left. When she took out the crystal gauntlet, she was sure that voice would never haunt her again. Now, here she was, hearing those words again. I know this isn't easy to hear, but Masara started to say, before she was cut off the ground by shaking beneath them. What's happening? Nikki's eyes widened, grabbing her helmet and running out the hut. There, just outside the village, was a 10-foot tall, long-necked monster with large flippers. It bored at the Magma Naga, knocking them back with jets of water from its mouth. A dinosaur? Nikki yelled. Actually, it's the Plecio Lightless, Red's Ranger heard Darkia say, as he walked out from behind a hut. A squad of bloods rushing to attack the Magma Nagas. It turns raw power. It's one of the strongest Lightless created, more than enough to level even this little tribe of Magma Nagas. Oh my gosh, it's a killer Leopardon! Roar! And wants us to go to Candy Mountain? Nikki grit her teeth hard before pulling up a communicator. Guys, we got an emergency on the island. Is Dirk back yet? Sorry, the meeting is going a little slower than expected, Dirk cried. I have to tell them to postpone. Negative, Dirk, Nikki ordered. You have to finish your job. What about you? Leon demanded. Nikki growled, looking back to the monster. Hold it off. Wait for Dirk to finish so we can take this thing. Boss, that's crazy, Patrick shied. That's an order, Nikki insisted, switching out to calm and putting her helmet back on. Back to action! Hit sabers! Letting out a yell, the Red Ranger charged the Plecio Lightless, swords drawn. She managed to leap over a rush of water and brings both swords down on the monster's skull. But all it did was erase the beast further, causing it to headbutt Nikki back down to the ground with a thud. Groaning, Nikki spotted the monster's jaws coming down at her, rolling out of the way, and then receiving a blast of water that knocked her into the side of a hut. Okay, plan B, Nikki groaned, slowly getting up. Bronze Zuka! Pulling out the Vasco's motif Bronze Zuka, Nikki inserted the Phoenix and focused crystal into the slot of the weapon, targeting scout detracting as she took aim on the Lightless. Light on! Bronze Zuka, fire! Pulling the trigger, Nikki lost an effigy of the Phoenix sword onto Plecio Lightless, nailing a direct hit to the side. Unfortunately, despite this, the Lightless clearly hadn't been wounded nearly enough. The blows seemed to only increase its berserker rage. It fired a high-pressure whirlpool out of its mouth, sending Nikki crashing down through the door of the hut she and the Blazar had spoken in earlier, pulling her through the table. Away with you! Inferno sounded, hitting the Lightless on the side with barrage of firewalls, before lifting up and whipping its tail across the side of its face. However, this only got the monster's attention, who scored a direct hit with a geyser blast. The Magma Naga warrior was blasted straight through a hut, rolling across the ground in a heap. Infernios! Blazara screamed in terror, leaving herself open to get phased by Darkia. The Magma Naga chief fell to the ground, whilst her people fought valiantly against the blots, only to be continued to knock away by the Plesia Nihilus. Let your guard down, old hag, Darkia taunted, her sickle trained in Blazara's neck. I'll let you live long enough to see the rest of your tribe be destroyed. Nikki clenched her fist hard, feeling a flaming aura surround her as he got back up. I've had enough! Crystal Gauntlet! The golden gauntlet formed on Nikki's fist as he inserted the Phoenix crystal into Gauntlet, screaming, Gaia! Mirror Mode! The crystal simmering in light as he expanded to fit the crystal gauntlet. The emblem of the Phoenix emblazoned on it. Nikki then threw her fist skyward, golden light pouring out and turning to silver on her belt and Gaia saber gold. Golden trim appeared on the top of her boots, as did the golden armbands around her biceps. Finally, her suit changed from a red to shiny ruby color. Guardian of Fire! Nikki exclaimed as flames swirled around her. Ruby Flanger! Drawing her Gaia saber, Nikki rushed the monster yet again as it blasted high-pressure wire at her. This time, however, she leapt straight through it, sword stabbed outward, and struck the Plesia Lightless in the jaw, causing it to back off in pain. Its eyes widened, raged beyond belief, lacked the time to properly counterattack, as the Ruby Ranger once again sprung up and punched it across the face with a flaming fist, sparks crackling in the monster's cheek. Nikki then flipped up once more, catching the beast in the chin with a butterfly kick, then caught it in its long neck with a roundhouse. Lazara's eyes widened in shock as Nikki continued to mount her offense. She should have been down long ago, but she's still going. I've never seen such tenacity. That's it. Suddenly, to Blazer's surprise, she watched as a transparent image of an elven warrior with spiky red hair, black and red armor appeared over Nikki. Just as she gathered a large wisp of flame to spiral around herself, canceling out a geyser blast from the Lightless. Then she gathered the flames to her side in the palms of her hands, creating a concentrated ball of flame, before throwing her hands forward and turning the ball into a stream of fire that blasted the Plesia Lightless hard. She is Iran's true successor, Blazar concluded, the true guardian of fire. Come along, you overgrown guppy! Darkia roared, taking her eyes off of Blazar. Destroy her! Spotting her a moment, the elderly Magma Naga caught Darkia's ankle with her tail. It flung her across the dirt. Fuss, child! Never take your eyes off a warrior who lived and fought well for over 1,000 years! Darkia screamed with frustration, slapping the dirt before slipping away as Blazar slid over to Nikki. Here, take some of my flame. It should be more than enough to annihilate the place. Nikki nodded, Blazar breathing out a small wisp of flame that gathered around the Ruby Ranger. Within moments, she found her body surrounded by a crimson aura, her sword and blaster powering up intensely. Turning back to the Blazio's Lightless, she raised both weapons as the monster prepared another whirlpool blast. Fire blast and slash! Nikki roared, firing a bolt-shaped blast of fire before launching a wave of heat into her sword. The two attacks connected, just as the Blazio Lightless launched its attack, striking straight through the whirlpool and tearing past the monster, its body imploring into a massive flame and dark smog. Nikki sighed in relief, falling to the knee as the Magma Nagas began to gather. Thanks, Blazara. I owe you one. Blazara grinned, putting a hand on Nikki's shoulder. Was an honor to help, Guardian Fire. Nikki smiled, but was such short-lived as a stream of black flames shot out across the sky. It funneled itself into a dark smog, causing it to expand greatly. Then finally, it reformed into an even larger version of Plesia Lightless, a massive creature floating in the sea before the island, roaring loudly at the Magma Naga. All of them looked like insects to it now. Seeing this, Nikki dragged herself back to her feet, moving ahead of the Magma Nagas. I need Gaia power! Now! Nikki shouted, pointing her saber and blaster skyward. Red Phoenix Gaia Sword! Pink Incident Gaia Sword! Power up! The two weapons fired off blasts of pink and red energy, both of which shot across the sky into the volcano. Within moments, both Zords emerged from it, charging into battle as Nikki leaped up and entered the Phoenix's sword cockpit, plugging her weapons into the controls. Kusune folded his legs and landed on the back of the Phoenix. The two swords immediately releasing twin streams of fire on the Plesiosaurus Lightless, scorching it across its face. In response, the monster nearly ducked its head under water to cool itself, then used its head to shovel a wave of water at the two, knocking them back hard. Ugh! Nikki cried, trying to keep the guy Venusaur airborne. Gotta hang in there!
Want some help?
Now and suddenly called over the communicator. Before Nikki could answer, the Plesiosaurus Lightless was hit hard by a broad severity blast, causing it to dive underwater to escape. In Nikki's amazement, racing over the water towards the island were the Hippogriff, Thunderbird, and Dragon Swords, while the Leviathan Sword darted across the waves with the Behemoth Sword on its back. Guys, you made it! Nikki cried. Sorry it took so long, but we had a lot of Dwarven Warrior constructs to go over. Dirk apologized. I'm just glad they finally let you go, or some of us might have ran ahead against orders, Patrick replied. Well, like heck if we were going to let Nikki go to waste, Drain remarked.
Gotta admit, Nikki, that was pretty impressive,
Alan said honestly. Now, what do you say we take the Loch Ness Monster back to Triassic Age? Leia suggested. Right, Nikki exclaimed, pulling out her Unity Crystal. Gaia swords combine! Patrick, Layla, Dirk, and Malin all drew their own Unity Crystals, plugging it into the Gaia sabers. The Haven Sword shifted its body around the top of the Leviathan Sword, formed the torso of the Megazord, while the Leviathan latched onto the Behemoth Sword, twisted about, becoming the hip and legs and feet as it stopped in the water just before the island. The Phoenix and Thunderbird swords curved their wings and talons in, forming their right and left arms and hands. The Hippogriff sword landed on the back, its wings spread out, and rested its head on top of the robot. Its beak opened to form a head. Finally, the Kitsune sword twisted its body around, forming a crossbow in the robot's right hand. The 5 rangers in the cockpit slid back to the head, becoming one bigger cockpit. Gaia Megazord, Kitsune bow! The rangers called. The Plesiosaurus Lightless finally popped out, just in time to receive a barrage of burning arrows to the face. However, it quickly responded by blasting a high-pressure whirlpool from its mouth, blasting the Megazord hard. When it did, thrust its skull forward, slamming the giant robot into the chest, before knocking the Kitsune bow out of its hands. Hang on, guys! Dragon shouted. The Dragon Sword swooping down and breathing black flames on the Plesiosaurus Lightless, causing it to back off. This calls for Dragon Megazord power! Rangers, hold on thought. John Ward suddenly announced in the communicators. We discovered for your souls to unite in an even more powerful form.
More powerful than our Megazords?
Leia inquired. It says in the older text that the 6 original guides of Gaia had a method of combining their primary souls together to form a far more powerful Megazord than the Gaia Megazord could become on its own. Charles explained. You must need to call upon your Super Unity Crystals.
Okay, let's give it a shot.
I'm game if you guys are. Super Unity Crystals! The 6 shouted, hitting their buckles to bring forth a new crystals, each with the 6 colors pointing inward into a golden light. Gaia Swords combine! Suddenly, both the Gaia Megazord and Dragon Sword began to glow in a brilliant light. The Gaia Megazord folded back into the Hippogriff Sword's beak, whose heads rolled back. The Dragon Sword's body split into the main torso, spreading it to both sides. They landed on the Gaia Megazord, forming massive shoulder pads, clawed gauntlets, and expanded hybrid wings. The Dragon Sword's jaws opened up to form a new head for the Megazord. Dragon's cockpit then slid down to join the others, placing down on the back. Dragonforce Megazord! Power up! In this land we have defended from all things dark and cruel. Now we are defenseless in a land where dragons rule. What? Was it before Cry Thunder? Either Dragonforce song is awesome. The 6 Rangers called. The Plesiosaurus Lightless immediately launched blasts of fire at it, but the massive robot simply walked through them, letting the attack splash harmlessly across it, or bounce on along the water surface. Plesio, I just want to let you know, it's a new Zord formation. You have no chance. It's all over. Just go home, commit seppuku.
Next, Thunderclaw!
Malin shouted as the Dragonforce Megazord threw a left claw gauntleted punch, hitting the Lightless in the face with a stinging electrical jab. Full Phoenix Peck! Nikki exclaimed, the Megazord giving the Lightless a second punch to the face. This time, a right hook filled with raging flames that stabbed through the muzzle. Black Bahamasuka! Dirk roared as the behemoth sword's jaw opened up in the chest of the Megazord, like it was a black and orange blob of energy that ran into the Placio's Lightless hard, shoving it back before exploding in his face. Okay, time to finish this, Drain proclaimed. The dragonforce Megazord suddenly leaped up, spreading its massive dragon and hippogriff wings, soaring through the air. As it approached the Placio Lightless, its gauntlets began to spin, charging up intense fire and lightning power as all 6 swords pumped their energy into the single attack. Superstar Punch! All 6 rangers called as the dragonforce Megazord slammed straight to the monster with a double punch of fire and lightning, the Placio Lightless going up in a massive explosion and black smog before being evaporated. Woo! Now that's getting her super done! Dirk cheered, to which everyone in the cockpit just looked at him, which I will never say again in my entire life. For which we all thank you for, Jane remarked. And half an hour later, the team was assembled in the hut where Nikki and Basara had met earlier. Basara, Infernos, and a few other Magma Nagas were surrounding the wreck at the table in the center of the room, waiting as their chief came to the citizen.
Well, Rangers, I think a much closer look at the current situation,
Basara said finally.
That was probably pretty easy, with the Mesoic Marine Battalion tearing up your village, Leon suggested. Quite, Basara replied. And given the threat that Walker represents, it would be unwise to let him continue to threaten our lives. Furthermore, after seeing you all in combat, particularly you, Nikki, I am confident in the safety of my warriors under your command. Therefore, as chief, I have decided to supply your forces with my greatest Magma Naga warriors.
Basara looked to her side to Infernos, stood with his arm folded, right shoulder bandaged up.
You have no problems with this arrangement?
Infernos huffed, smoke rising from his nostrils. I have been disgraced in battle. I intend to make our enemies feel my embarrassment tenfold. Nikki smirked. Glad to have you on the team. Guys, this is it. In 2 days we march to the Dark Zone. Finally, we're going on the offense, Dirk declared, punching his left hand to his right palm. About time Walker paid for everything he's done. Remember, this isn't just about Walker, Nikki pointed out. It's also just a player for Dracarius. There'll probably be consequences from him for this. We need to cut his forces down. Walker's the best place to start hacking at. In other words, we need to bring him down before going after the head, Patrick summarized. Exactly, Ricky replied. We can't do anything about Dracarius with Walker keeping us on the defensive. Trainer nodded. Right. 2 days we attack. Walker growled, watching the view of the Dark Zone from a cliff overlooking the entrance of the Dark Chamber. The grounds of the Dark Zone were literally flooded with bloods of every shape, size, and form. Yet even with the vast number of advantage, you knew this wouldn't be enough to hold the advance of the Rangers for long, especially with the Magma Nagas backing them. Luckily, I've prepared a little surprise for the Rangers, Walker thought, an evil grin forming. So come, all the Guardians of Gaia. Come with all your allies from across the world, for even if I lose this fight, I will take many of you down with me.
You know, I had this thought of what this story started reminding me of. It made me think of, quite happily I should add, it started making me think of the last few episodes of Witch, which is awesome, because if you've been fans of the show for long, and I'm thinking that's only the first 60 of you, to the other 130 that have joined over the years. Hi, I'm a gigantic fan of Witch, and I kind of wish we had a season 3. Hi, how are you doing? Pleased to meet you.
In the way that everybody's gathering, everybody ready to launch the final assault. You see, I like it when there are reasons why you can't attack the Big Fat's fortress. Things like She-Ra, where they're fighting this war against Hordak, and every time they call him, they just basically let him go and treat it like it was nothing, like he was just your villain of the week. That's not the way to do it. It's always best to have reasons like, oh, there's too many of the enemy's forces, or they're too strong, or there's a gigantic barrier, or we can't even find it. But when the heroes find it, I do like when they actually decide to go on the offensive. Unlike Voltron, it was stupid. And I really love the way that this plays out and the story actually works. Well, there's one down. That's more to go. Tune in next week. We've got a two-parter coming up. See you then.